Hi, welcome to Pastor Chuck's Book Talk, where we are talking about books. And right now we are on our quest to find the best Christian fiction we can find and review it and talk about it here on YouTube together. Welcome and thank you for joining me today. We are reviewing a book called The Screwtape Letters by the grandpappy of Christian fiction himself, C.S. Lewis. That's right, good old Clive Staples, Chronicles of Narnia fame, of Mere Christianity, of all sorts of other books. He also wrote this book called The Screwtape Letters, which is basically 31 letters written by a character named Screwtape, who is an elder demon to his nephew Wormtail. Well, they discuss how to trip up, confuse, make ineffective, and harass another character named the Patient. The other character in the book that comes up is just referred to as the enemy, who you and I know as God. Anyway, so without further ado, let's dive into this awesome, exciting book. All right, now, so for this book, I am still using the same four categories, but I am going to switch with the order a little bit. I'm going to move that churchiness scale, which is, last time I talked about it last, I'm going to talk about it first this time, because on a scale of 1 to 14 on how preachy and how teachy and how much this book is about telling us the author's opinions on Christian life and life in general, this book is a solid 14. It has 31 chapters. Really, it has 31 sermonettes that Clive Staples Lewis uses to explain things that he thinks about the way Christians and people should live. And he has this very creative way of showing it, using the two demons, talking about the positives as negatives and the negatives as positives. On the church scale, it's clearly a 14. Now on to the content discussion. C.S. Lewis, he doesn't shy away from any topic. He gets political, he gets spiritual, he gets religious. And all in all, he does a very good job talking about all of the things that he talks about. All in all, I agree with the 31 letters, or at least 30 of the 31 letters. Really, I agree with all 31 of them, but there's one that I'm going to talk about a little bit because it is possible to misinterpret that one a little. All right, now on to the content of this book. One of the first things that I want to say when I talk about the content of any Christian fiction book that uses demons, if you read a lot of Christian fiction and didn't read your Bible and didn't have a strong church guiding you, you might think that demons and the dark forces are somehow a main character in Christianity. The reality is they're not. The main character of Christianity is Jesus Christ. After Jesus Christ, we have human beings that are made in his image that he loves. And then way down at the bottom of the importance scale are the demons, the dark forces, Satan himself. He's not even that important of a character to the story of God's redemption that is the heart of Christianity. The demons, they show up to oppose Jesus and he tramples them over in the Gospels. Just please don't get obsessed with this. Well, I won't share the really bad jokes I told about this book at the time because they just weren't funny. Now, there is one of the letters that I do need to talk about real quick. It is letter 13, and it's not that C.S. Lewis says anything that is wrong, but it's that the way he says it is very easy to misconstrue what he said. It doesn't imply, but it might imply if you misread it, that depression is always caused by demonic oppression. That is simply not the case. That being said, I'm still okay with chapter 13 of this book because while depression is a medical condition that is not necessarily or generally caused by demonic oppression, dark forces of this world do want you to be depressed. Now, I do think it's important that we know something about the man, Clive Staples Lewis, and the time period that he was writing this book. This book came out in 1942 by a British veteran, written by a British veteran in the middle of World War II. When C.S. Lewis talks about the human war, that's what he's talking about. He's talking about the ending opposition to true evil of not the Nazi Germany and things like Holocaust and genocide. Now, as far as originality goes, this book in 1942, there was literally nothing like it. There were a few other books that you can say influenced him, but they don't look anything like it. So this book gets full bonus marks. And the final thing that I want to say about this book is its enjoyability level. It is an enjoyable book to read. This is the one area, though, that I won't give it full stars. I'd probably give it a 3 out of 5, maybe a 4 out of 5. And that's not because it's a bad book or because it's not fun to read, but because it's very, very heavy. And it's very, very much like, eating spinach isn't necessarily the most fun thing, but it's still good. You still eat your vegetables. You still go to the doctor. You still read the Screwtape letters every few years because it's good for you. And I do highly recommend this book and suggest that you pick it up. Hey, if you want to hear more Christian fiction from me or from other people, because I might have guest stars on here, go ahead and press subscribe. And if you want to leave a comment with what you're reading, or if you have an idea of a book for me to review, go ahead and just leave that in the comments below. I bit my tongue. Ow.